There are influencers right now with millions of followers, with brands sending them free items, discounted products, and even free trips, the whole influencer shebang. And with their audiences, there seems to be a divide where one half seems to be people that genuinely supports them, and the other are people who are just watching and waiting for a downfall of some sort. There's a tension there. And I know I'm not the only one that has noticed this. And I've been thinking on why that is. And it all comes down to this one very sobering fact, which is we live in a country where everything is getting harder. And granted, some people have found a way through to financial freedom through their phones. But what about the people that can't? And what about the people that don't want to? Some people have worked their entire lives towards one goal, and that goal does not involve being seen and consumed by the masses. People have done a lot of things right in order to get to uni or college to study in the field that they want to work in, but instead, they're sitting at home with their CVs that no one's responding to. See, I do not think that being cornered into influencing or doing content creation to get financial freedom should be the norm, as it is currently, right? And even the influencer economy is getting really out of touch to the point where watching these influencers isn't even inspiring for most people anymore. It just hurts. And today I'll be taking a deep dive into that, so stay tuned. Hello. Welcome to Front Row Seats. I'm Essie, a social work UCT student, and I'm getting over my fear of being seen by talking about the things that I'm passionate about, whether that be socially, politically, or anything in between. And you get to have a front row seat to my one-man show. So let's get into it. Firstly, let's be honest about where we are currently as a country. We are one of the most unequal countries in the world, okay? Not our continent, the world. Our unemployment rates are insane. We're currently at over 30% unemployment rate, and our youth unemployment rate is almost 60%. Almost 60%. Yet the cost of living keeps rising. And there are two other things that I really want you to look at that are showing you just how bad the economy is. They're huge signifiers of where we are as a country. And the first one is gambling. Okay, so gambling is being pushed to the youth so hard through ads, through campaigns, through sponsored events. Right now, if you buy an Android phone, I guarantee you, before you even set it up, Hollywood Bets is already pre-installed for you, and all these other gambling apps, they're pre-installed for you. Right. Also, the gambling in South Africa has increased so much these past years. The Daily Maverick reported that the South African gambling sector has entered a phase of growth unlike anything seen before. Just to give you a clear picture of what I'm talking about, okay? During the 2020-2021 financial year, a total of 5.2 billion was wagered on betting, right? Now, fast forward to the 2024-2025 financial year, a total of 52.3 billion. From 5.2 to 52.3 billion, okay, was wagered on betting. And let me tell you why betting or gambling thrives in a declining economy or in a recession. And that's because people see gambling as an actual financial strategy, because the normal routes to financial freedom are closed. There's no job opportunities, there's no real opportunities to make money. So that 20 Rand bet starts feeling like an actual financial strategy. So people aren't just testing their luck when they're betting. That could actually be their next meal. It could pay fees, it could be a lot of things. So gambling thrives when people are desperate. That's what's happening. So the second symptom I want you to look at, a symptom of a declining economy, is the black cards that are being rolled out by banks like crazy. Growing up, the black bank cards meant something, you know. It meant you're at a certain place in life, you're at a certain place financially, you know. But now they are being rolled out and given to people that are barely earning. So now it's become a marketing tool, because if you cannot give people actual wealth, then give them the aesthetic, give them the feel of it. It's an illusion. And there's so many illusions that are, that we see in the system. If you haven't watched my previous video about BBL culture, please do, because as I make more videos, you'll start to see the amount of illusions that were being given by institutions. It's quite jarring. And the systems that are put in place to keep those illusions. Yeah. And so that's where we're at. That's where we are at. We are being sold the appearance of doing well. That is the response that we're getting from brands, from institutions, from banks, because we are in a declining economy. Now, let's talk about the influencer economy, specifically in South Africa, and how unrealistic it is. Firstly, we are being failed dismally as the youth by the government, because people are doing everything right. People are studying, people are graduating, just to graduate into a country that has nothing for you, absolutely no opportunities. We've gotten to the point where your chances of going viral and then building financial growth from that success, from that virality, your chances of that happening are way higher than your chances of graduating and getting a stable job in the field in which you've studied. Yeah, so when people tell people, if you're broke, just start content creation, they're not being frivolous. That's literally where we're at. We're being pushed into content creation, even if people don't want to. Because some people, their goal is, again, to not be consumed by the masses. Their goal is to become an accountant, a lawyer, etc. Their goal or their dream is not to be seen by a bunch of people, a bunch of strangers on the internet, right? And a lot of the times, this opportunity is quite real for some people, because for getting internet virality or for being a successful content creator, you don't need much. You don't need connections. You don't need to stay in a certain suburb. You don't even need a personality sometimes. Sometimes you don't even need a personality, okay? And this opportunity is real for a lot of people. But then, with some content creators, a disconnect happens between the come up and the changing of apartments every 6 months. A disconnect happens and they start making content that is quite out of touch with the reality of most South Africans. And this hurts more in South Africa because the reality of most people isn't what they're posting, and they start feeling behind. And in actuality, they are being left behind by the government, by the institutions that were supposed to give them opportunities.
So guys, I just watched a video.
So I'm filming this in my car because out of respect for my mom, who is in a meeting upstairs, because I'm about to freaking crash out.
Coach Tobajani, you want...
An example of this is Grace Mondlana, okay? So a scandal that happened was Grace Mondlana did her hair for 3,500 Rand and then took it down 2 weeks later. And a lot of people were, they were feeling some type of way about this, because 3.5 for most South Africans is not a hairstyle that you do and take down after 14 days. It is a bill that has been unpaid for so long. It's kids' uniforms, it's rent, it's groceries. 3.5 is genuinely money that could change someone's life currently for the next 2 months or 3 months, in fact. Right, but she did her hair and took it down after 14 days. And people, they said something about this. They were like, oh, what the heck? And she responded, and she was very ungracious in her responses. And one thing I'll give her, okay, is that she's an algorithm queen. She knew what she was doing. That's why she's where she's at. She knows what she's doing, okay? So when she was responding to people in demeaning ways, she knew that it's a way for her to stay relevant, okay? She's staying on our For You page. Her views are going up. It's a tactic. It's a marketing tactic for her. But this is where I think she's miscalculating, because as a person, as an influencer, she's losing the plot. She's supposed to influence people, but now instead she's using people's rage as engagement. And that's where she's gonna get confused, because now she's gonna see people's engagement and confuse it for loyalty. Because now, you know, when you start out, the people that are following you, they are not just followers, they are supporters. They're people that genuinely want to see you win. They're rooting for you. They actually love you. But now when you start using those same people as fuel to your fame just to keep you going, and you're being dismissive, you're being demeaning to them, they start being people that are just watching you and hoping that something happens to humble you. So now let's talk about dry begging. Dry begging is when you indirectly ask for something. So you create the conditions to get what you want. So we know a lot of TikTokers move into their new apartments and they post that POV, you just moved into a new apartment and you only had money for a deposit. So they're trying to tell brands to send them couches and beds and furniture and all of that, right? And within a few days, they get what they want, right? And just to be clear, getting brand deals is not criminal. Shit, I want one. Brands, if you see this, my skin is perfect. Okay, I could advertise your brand so nicely. So give me a brand deal, please. So anyway, but then here's the problem that people have with this dry begging tactic. It's that it only goes in one direction. Like people that can afford, they can afford the beds, they can afford the couches, they can afford the whatever they can. It's just that they would appreciate to get them for free because they're influencers. They're using that to their opportunity, to their advantage. I mean, right? It only goes one way. It only goes to the people that are already privileged. We know these brands have the budget to give away, right? They have the items to give away, but I don't see them giving out to cuckoo influencers. We know cuckoo influencers exist, and in matter of fact, they're the ones that are accurately representing the reality of South Africans, of most South Africans.
Another day and Dumelang hleng bathong ka tshepa gore le phetse hantle le nna ke phetse. Dumelang hleng batho.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Spend my morning with you.
Most South Africans don't live like Grace Mondlana. Most South Africans live a life that's close, similar to them cuckoo influencers. They might not live in shacks, they might live in brick houses, but their lifestyle might be quite close to, you know, that lifestyle, not Grace's lifestyle. Majority of South Africans, right? So instead of giving away these brand deals and these free couches to cuckoo influencers, they're giving them away to people that can already afford. That's why people are aggravated. And let me tell you why brands do this. It's called aspirational association. So these brands want their products next to a specific type of lifestyle. They want their products next to success because they think that's what sells, right? Them giving out all these products isn't about reach. It's about looking a specific way. Just to close off, when people are stable, when the country is stable, when people have jobs, when people aren't hungry, when people can afford groceries consistently, which we know is something that a lot of South Africans can't do currently, they are okay with watching people win. They're okay with watching influencers overconsume things. But now, currently, that's not what's happening. Okay, people are hungry, people don't have jobs, people are desperate. So watching influencers over consume, buy stuff every day, it's aggravating, it's not inspirational. And again, the anger is not at the influencers, the anger is at a system that these influencers represent, okay, which is a system of rewarding the already rewarded. Yeah, so that's my take for today. and I would like to hear what you guys think in the comment section. I would love to engage with you, and see you on the next video because there's more coming. Mwah.